Hello, my lovely Marshall blenders. How are you? How are you? Hey guys, happy Monday. Welcome to a new week. What is going on with y'all? I hope everyone is faring well and doing as great as possible. I'm having myself some ginger tea. It's cold already though. And I'm actually making some white onion skin and lemon and lime tea. I let it boil, I cover it so that way it can distill as much of the goodness out of it. So guys, what dishwashing liquid do you use? So I like Dawn. My mom put me onto Dawn, and so Dawn I love it, right? So Dawn has different versions. They have the 2 times strong, 3 times strong, 4 times strong, and you might think, whatever, they're probably just putting the same product in the same bottle. No, it's not. No. You buy regular Dawn, it's gonna clean wonderful, but it doesn't last as long. You buy the 2 times strong, it does last longer. 3 times strong it lasts longer. But the 4 times strong platinum for me is the number one, right? And so my mom put me onto it, obviously, and I was like, man, nothing tops it, and nothing actually would match it. Not even the other popular name brands. I'm not gonna say names because I appreciate them all, okay? I appreciate them all. I'll say them. Like, for example, Ajax, they have a really good dishwashing liquid. Palmolive was what I used. When I say for decades, I'm 42 and I used them for 30 years of my life, okay? Palmolive. So I do, and they're good. They're good. But just that the Dawn 4X is better than all of them. So I went to the Rite Aid today to buy dishwashing liquid, right? And so I saw the closest thing. Oh no, they didn't have this. I had to go to actually the Real that's on Prospect. They were the ones that had this, right? So I go there. They don't have anything. But what I did see was this one, Mrs.Mayers Clean Day, which it says basil scent, and it does have a good scent. It does have it's like you don't smell it too much, but it smells good. It reminds me a little bit of Palmolive, right? And so you shake it, and it appears watery, but it's not. Look at that. Look at that. It's not watery. Look at that. It's not going down so fast. So it's pretty thick, and it works wonderful. So I gave it a go because, guys, I love their hand wash. Their hand wash is good, so I love their hand wash. So I said, let me give their soap a go. This top actually had some food that I had cooked, and I like to use turmeric. If you use turmeric, you know that turmeric is very, very, very yellow, right? And it's staining. It stains. Like, I actually would color my mother's gray hair blonde, like a golden yellow, with turmeric. I would add turmeric to the conditioner. I would leave it on her hair for a few, like maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes. When we'd wash it off, she'd have a nice golden cast to her gray. So it stains. And I said, I'm gonna see how good this really works. So what I did is I put some where it was most yellow, and I sat it in warm water for like about a good 20 minutes. When I went to wash it, guys, it really cleaned it. So that's just something I wanted to say. If you're in the market for good dishwashing liquid, dish soap, Mrs.Mayers or Dawn 4X. The 3X is good too. 3X, 4X, but obviously 4X wins. Some of the things I was thinking about recently, today, I don't know, I find it fascinating. Sometimes we are going through moments where we self-analyze, right? We check ourselves out, and then we find out that there are things about ourselves that we don't necessarily appreciate. And how can we go about modifying that? How can we go about fixing that? And it's not that we don't like it about ourselves because someone else doesn't like it. It's something that as you mature, you're able to analyze yourself as if you were outside of yourself. Does that make sense? You know, you get older, you're able to analyze the frontal lobe. It works better, you know? So you step outside yourself and you're like, man. So one thing that I was analyzing about myself recently, and it's not just today, but today I was meditating on it, that I've been working on myself, is that I want to improve as a listener. And I'm a good listener. I'm an amazing listener. I'm an awesome listener. That I'm not going to try and say I'm not. But I'm not. There's nobody's perfect. There's no perfection on this planet right now, right? So one thing I learned about myself is I need to improve as a listener, in the sense listening to what things people say and also listening to what things people don't say. So my sister Iris, who's the one that had passed away, when she used to come here to visit, she would say things like, oh, I'm just so very tired, you know, I'm just so very, very tired. And it didn't click anything in my head. My other sister, Tina, right? She would be like, I want to be there. I really want to be there to help. And in my head, I hear what she's saying, but I wasn't listening. And so what I would hear her say is, I want to be there. But what I would be thinking is, whatever, you don't want to be here, you're lazy or whatever. So what's the reality? My sister has 5 children. 5. And, you know, no disrespect to her husband, but every woman that's married knows that when you get married to a man, you get a new child, you know? So essentially she's taking care of 6 people. 6 people. And her last 3 pregnancies affected her heart. So she's also dealing with a weakened heart. So what I learned, and I apologize, Tina. I'm doing a public apology in front of all the Marshall blenders. I apologize for not having been able to comprehend. So what I'm learning is that sometimes we don't, I'm going to say I, because one thing I don't like is when a person says we or you and they're referring to themselves. So what I realize is my listening skills needed to mature. And the reason why they needed to mature, or how they could mature, was by life experience. Does that make sense? So the more life experience you have and that you appreciate that life experience, the better a listener you become, the better a listener I am becoming. So my life experience has helped me to, because I'm not a parent, but I'm a person who's taking care of a parent, which is kind of like similar, has helped me understand parents. So when a parent says, I am tired, it's not an excuse, it's not an exaggeration, it's literal. They are literally tired, psychologically, emotionally, physically, mentally. They may not have even had the opportunity to eat or sleep in hours. So when they say they're tired, it literally means they're tired. So now when I have a friend who tells me that they feel tired or that they haven't been able to do something that I feel is extremely important, but that they aren't able to do it, I'm training my brain to not, and it's embarrassing to say, but I'm training my brain not to judge. And I was very proud of myself being a person who doesn't judge. But guess what? I do judge, and a lot of us do judge. I judge. And so I'm training my brain to not judge what is being said, but to listen to what is being said. And if I don't understand it, I'll say, I apologize, but can you help me understand what you mean? You know, you're tired. What does that mean? You can't do this. What does that mean? You can't physically do it. Your mind is not letting you do it. Your concentration isn't present, you know? And then the next question would be, even though the answer may be nothing, what can I do to help? And sometimes just saying, what can I do to help? Just literally does something to the mind of that person, and now they get new strength, you know? So I'm working on being a better listener. that's what I'm working on. I'm working on being a better listener. And it's not easy. It's not easy. But I do believe that that is what will help strengthen my relationships with my family, with my God, obviously listening to him through his word, the Bible, and my friends, listening to y'all. For example, comments, you know, if you read through the comments, I try very hard to be a good listener. So a person may say something that to another person may be combative, but I will actually read it and try and understand what they're saying, you know, and then give them an honest answer, a respectful answer. So I am working on maturing that ability and widening it. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you guys, are you guys good listeners? Do you feel like there are places where you can improve on your listening? And how are you improving your listening? So for example, I am improving my listening by trying my best to not, like I said, embarrassing to say, but not judge what is being said, but just hear what is being said. And if I don't understand what is being said, ask the person to please help me understand what they're saying, you know. Yeah, that's about it. That's what I was thinking about today, guys. That's what I wanted to share with you, was the Mrs. Mayers, the Dawn, and let's work on being better listeners. Let's work on being better listeners. And I think that if we become better listeners, we can be better communicators. You know what I mean? And nobody's perfect, so no one can ever say I am the most perfect listener. You can be an awesome listener, you can be an amazing listener, you can be a wonderful listener, but you can never be a perfect listener. We can always grow. Okay, so goodbye, my lovely Marshall blenders. I gotta tell you, thank you guys for listening, because I needed to get that off my chest. See you soon. See ya.